Welcome to our Energy Connect studio. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Dr. Houda Ben Jannet, General Director, Observatoire Méditerranéen de l'Énergie, OME.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for taking the time out on this busy day 2 of EGYPS 2022.
Thank you for having me with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Could you outline for us the purpose of OME?
Well, OME is, we've been celebrating our 30th anniversary last year. And so this is the organization which gather energy actors, energy companies and actors in the Mediterranean region. And our objective is to promote cooperation between the energy countries and companies, of course. So we are the voice of the energy industry, and we are at the same time think tank. And if we have to make it in a resume, we will say we are the partner for the energy transition in the Mediterranean region.
Okay, great. And what sort of activities are you specifically working on to promote this cooperation? Is it a mixture of things?
Absolutely. So we are doing it through a gathering platform, as I say, as the voice of the energy industry, based also on our think tank activities. So we are contemplating and analyzing the energy Mediterranean situation for more than 30 years now. And from there we draw the main messages in how to go further and how to promote sustainable development by the end of the day in the region. So we are making it through our analysis studies, but also through the gathering platforms and through voicing the energy voice and point of view of the industry towards authorities and European Commissions, etc. and COPs as well.
Yeah. Well, dialogues are really important.
Absolutely.
And and you mentioned COP there, and obviously Egypt is going to be hosting Sharm el-Sheikh at the end of the year.
We are delighted.
Is that for Egypt hosting it, but for Africa?
It is very, very important, and we are delighted. And of course, we will be at the rendezvous. Actually, OME is an observer, so we are accredited by the UNFCCC. We've been participating in many COPs, and including in, I would say, two major participation of OME was in COP24 in Marrakesh, when we started presenting our view and dialogue among how to reach the energy transition in the Med. And last year in COP26 we've been there to discuss how to promote cooperation. And the conclusion was that we need to foster cooperation. So we are doing it by ourselves within the actors, but we have other organizations that are doing so, and we have agreed that we need to close cooperation. For COP27, so we will be at the rendezvous as well with takeaways on how to go to the near zero carbon, to the zero carbon scenario. And so the road is, we have plenty of opportunities, but of course many things to discuss on how to get there in a fair and just and inclusive way. Okay,
and I mean the view stands down from us is the EMGF, the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum. How do you intend to work with them? And that's what you're saying about other bodies that are trying to get cooperation and working in the region.
Absolutely, we are delighted that EMGF is now here as a player as well. So as OME, we cover the whole Mediterranean region. So we have both what we call North Med, which is the European Union part, and the South Med. And so, of course, East Med is one of the main part of the region. And for OME, we are dealing with all energies. And for us, we believe, and we started by believing that natural gas is going to play and have played and will continue to play the leading role. And so the fact that East Med Gas Forum exists, we see many synergies among the two organizations in terms of dialogue, but also in terms of analysis. We do perform in-depth studies, prospects, so we will be delighted to work with them, but also to elaborate common activities and also be active all together in order to compare and to discuss so that we can go further, because we strongly believe it is very important. And so we started already, and we will be delighted to strengthen cooperation with them. Okay,
look forward to seeing that. And you mentioned there gas, and gas is going to remain really important for this region, isn't it? And do you see it as becoming sort of the clean energy fuel of choice?
Absolutely, we strongly believe in that. So we have organized at the 30th anniversary of OME last December a conference in which we discussed what is the role of energy of gas in the energy transition. And one of the sentences that my chairman said is, if we don't take care in the right way of gas, we are going into trouble. So this summarizes the fact that, of course, we need, and we are all embarked in the energy transition, and we need energy efficiency, we need renewables and new technologies. All of them will play a leading role in order to achieve what we all look for, which is the energy transition.
Yeah.
But this has to be done also with natural gas, because this is at the end of the day a sort of I would say we have the chance to get it in the region, and the South is going to more than double its energy demand. So the economic growth is there, the population growth is there, and so needs are important, and we are starting from a level which, if we compare the energy consumption between the North and the South, for example, we are really at a lower level, so electricity or energy. So there is a huge need, and in order to go there, the safer way is to make a good balance and to play with all what we have, and natural gas will definitely play and have to play a leading role. Again, not against, but with renewables, energy efficiency, and the new technology.
Yeah. That's interesting. And we're here at EGYPS 2022. How do you see the strategic dialogue at EGYPS shaping the move to this more sustainable oil and gas industry from the panels and everything we've seen?
So I had the honor to participate to a panel yesterday of international organization, but I've been, of course, listening to all the high-level ministerial discussion, and also to the word that was given by His Excellency President El Sisi, and all of them converge in that the fact that we need to foster dialogue and cooperation from all actors, from ministers, from government, from industry. So, and this is really the place to be. We need to gather, we need to discuss, we need to bring different points of view. And this is not my first. This is not my first EGYPS, and I see that we are going faster. So I'm really very delighted. From one time to the other, I see that things are happening, and these things are going better. But of course, we are in the same time in front of many uncertainties and many. But it is only with trust, with dialogue, with trust, and with a vision of fair and inclusive way forward that we can make things happen to everybody in a better way.
It's good. Backdrop of a global pandemic. Good to have EGYPS back in person.
Absolutely. So I look forward to the next.
Super. And this sort of final one. I mean, as you said, open dialogue is really important. But what steps do you think this region needs to take? On climate change in terms of energy efficiency, but also carbon emissions. Absolutely.
As I said when I talked, there are many solutions, no one against the other. Actually, what we did recently, and we are updating our works to see in how would the NDCs, within the COP translate in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
And so if we only go with the unconditional NDCs, which looks like reality, because this is where the countries are saying, I will do whatever the situation is, we are really going to a trouble. Why is this? The Mediterranean used to have a big concern, which is energy security. And on top of that comes the issue of climate change. And the Mediterranean is known as the hotspot.
Yep.
The IPCC is telling us you are the region which will suffer the most. So if you don't do anything, in order to curb, though you will have a trouble. And I think that we all agree. We are living it now in our life. So the region has many opportunities. A big potential for energy efficiency, huge potential for renewables, natural gas, of course, and the possibility of expanding to new technologies, because we have plenty of people as well, and financing can flow, hopefully. So we have the ingredient for it. But if we look at what is business as usual trend, so this would translate in more than doubling of CO2 emission in the South Med. For the whole regions, more than 30% of CO2 emission increase, so bad. And very bad, very, very bad is the energy dependence. Because at the present, so the energy dependence is much more in the north, and the south has an energy dependence at the whole, but relatively slow. But if we go with these trends, we are going to have 40% of energy dependence, and mainly in the south region. So we may imagine the impact also on the geopolitical aspect. So we cannot afford. For that, we cannot afford, and the options are there. Improving the energy efficiency will be able to reduce by 50% the energy or avoid the energy emissions. So we need to invest in energy efficiency. We need to invest in renewables. We need to count on gas in order to make the transition smooth, and of course to investigate the new technologies. CCUS can play a role, hydrogen can play a role, so we can go there. But of course, in order to get there, we need to adapt. We need to have the way is long, the way is not that easy, but it is really, it is there when we see that the role of dialogue, the role of regional cooperation, the role of trust, in order to have all the elements that allow to reach that goal, and not unfortunately that we might met in few years and see that what happened is the business as usual scenario, which we don't want.
No.
There are so many possibilities that there is no room to fight against each other. Let's work all together and we can make it happen. Well, and I very much look for COP27 again. I said, because vision and leadership, and yesterday I saw vision and leadership. So that is why during the panel they say, what do you see as risks? I said, I see opportunities, because when leadership are there, of course things are very difficult, but it makes things happen better than when we don't have it, and we have it.
Great, well, nice to end on an optimistic note, and as you said, it's going to be a busy year in the pathway to COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh.
And we will be there. We are working already.
Perfect, great. Well, Dr. Houda, I really appreciate you popping by the Energy Connect studio on day 2 of EGYPS 2022.
Absolutely, thank you for the invitation. Thank you very much.